Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Joy of Pro Wrestling Network. I am your host, Mark Ross, and today we are discussing WWE's Elimination Chamber 2023. A lot is on the line tonight for the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns as he enters this match as champion for a consecutive 900 days as Universal Heavyweight Champion. And the big question tonight is, can Sami Zayn defeat him? Will he be the one to finally break the streak of the Tribal Chief and destroy the bloodline in front of his hometown crowd in Montreal, Quebec, Canada? So the Elimination Chamber starts off with the Women's Elimination Chamber match, and this is for an opportunity versus Bianca at WrestleMania for the Raw Women's Championship. The competitors are Natalya, Liv Morgan, Carmella, Raquel Rodriguez, Asuka, and Nikki Cross. And I didn't really get into detail with this match here. Asuka wins. I think that was the predictable winner. So it looks like Asuka will face Bianca at WrestleMania. My pick to win this was Raquel Rodriguez. I was looking at similar sizes and builds for both of the Bianca and Rodriguez. I thought it would be a good matchup. It would be a good way to catapult Rodriguez to the top of the card. Being in a main event spot like that at WrestleMania, but I guess it just wasn't in the cards for her. She had some big moments in the match, but just didn't turn out to her advantage as Asuka wins. So she gets the title shot versus Bianca at WrestleMania. One thing I would like to touch on in this match was the Nikki Cross crossbody during the beginning portion of the match. Nikki Cross made her way up to the top of one of the pods as all the girls stood there and waited for her to jump on top of them. I think this is a spot that is way overdone in matches. Everybody's standing there waiting for their opponent to jump on them. Whether it's Nikki Cross doing a crossbody off the top of the pod in the Elimination Chamber, or it's Charlotte Flair doing, all the girls standing there waiting to catch Charlotte Flair after she does a moonsault off of the top rope. Whatever the case may be, that spot is, I think, way overdone in the modern era of wrestling. And, the crowd still chants, this is awesome after, it happens. So they're getting a good reaction. So I don't think it's ever going to change. So maybe I'm just being overly picky. But another spot in matches that I'm starting to not like is the exchange of punches and chops in the middle of the ring. Like picture Moxley and Minoru Suzuki in the middle of the ring, trading punches, blows one after another to each other. I get that in the match. I get the point of it. The point of it's to see who's tougher and who can, dish out more than they can take. But I just think it's way overdone, and the modern day wrestling fans enjoy it. So it's becoming the norm in wrestling matches. But anyhow, on to the next match. Match number 2 is the rubber match between Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. This match starts out with Lesnar exploding on Lashley. But then Lashley is able to hit a spear on Lesnar for a near fall. He then hits a second spear on Lesnar and then attempts a hurt lock. Lesnar then escapes the hold. Lesnar hits an F5 on Lashley, and Lashley kicks out. Brock then hits a second F5 for a second near fall. The crowd chants one more time, and Brock gives the crowd what they want. Lesnar then goes for a third F5, but Bobby Lashley reverses it and hits a third spear on Lesnar. Bobby is fired up as he tells Brock Lesnar to get up. Lesnar gets to his feet, and then Bobby applies the Hurt Lock. Brock cannot escape, so Brock then gives him a low blow out of desperation. The ref has no choice but to call a disqualification on Lesnar. Bobby Lashley wins by result of disqualification. Lesnar didn't realize what he did until after the match, and then he finally realizes what he did, and then he takes it out on the referee. He F5s Lashley into a table, and then gives another referee, or maybe even the same referee, another F5 onto the broken table. So I thought this match was a little bit premature. I figured this would be a good match for WrestleMania, the rubber match. With them having it early at Elimination Chamber, I almost thought that something screwy would happen. And it did. There was a DQ here. Lashley gets the win, but Lesnar looks a little bit mad about that. And I'm sure that there will probably be some consequences and repercussions from Adam Pearce, I'm sure, on Lesnar. For laying his hands on referees and getting out of control after the match, but I imagine that he will be facing Bobby Lashley once again for a final time at WrestleMania, is my prediction. Next match was Judgment Day. Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley with Dominic versus Edge and Beth Phoenix. This was an okay match. Nothing too crazy happened in it, but Edge and Beth Phoenix get the win. Edge gets the comeback win. One thing I would like to point out during the press conference after the Elimination Chamber event, the winner of the men's Elimination Chamber, so the winner of the U.S. title, put out an open challenge for the title on Raw for Monday, and Edge accepted at the press conference. So it looks like it'll be Edge Monday night on Raw for the U.S. title in an open challenge against, I won't tell you, but the winner of this Elimination Chamber match coming up. So next we have the men's Elimination Chamber match for the United States Heavyweight Championship. The competitors going into this match are Austin Theory, the champion, Montez Ford, Bronson Reed, Damian Priest, Johnny Gargano, and Seth Rollins. I think this match was better than the women's Elimination Chamber match, but in a lot of ways I feel like they wasted this Elimination Chamber match. The finish, the last three men in the ring were Montez Ford, Seth Rollins, and Austin Theory. And the finish had Montez Ford getting injured, so all the referees came out inside the chamber, and the door was open. So while the referees were tending and helping Montez Ford, this allowed Logan Paul to enter the ring. And then Logan Paul did a buckshot lariat to Seth Rollins and then gave him his own curb stomp. And then Austin Theory, of course, got the Elimination Chamber win to retain his United States Championship. So this match here was no way about the United States Championship, in my opinion, but instead it was a way to set up Logan Paul and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. I think they could have done that in other ways besides use the chamber match to get the ball rolling on their feud for WrestleMania, but that's what they did. Austin Theory, still your United States heavyweight champion for the moment. So I'll go ahead and talk about it now. After Elimination Chamber, there was a press conference where Austin Theory, your champion, he was the first one to come out and speak and to do interviews, but he already gave out an open challenge for his United States Championship on Raw Monday, and then later on in the press conference, Edge has accepted the open challenge, so looks like it'll be Edge versus Austin Theory for the U.S. title on Monday. And I can almost see Edge going over Austin Theory at Raw tomorrow for that U.S. title, which would be another reason why the Elimination Chamber was wasted. But I look for Finn Balor of the Judgment Day to go after that United States title, and there be a feud between Edge and Finn Balor with that U.S. title if Edge does win Monday. It doesn't look like the feud between Judgment Day and Edge is over with. Finn looked pretty upset after the match, and he was yelling at him. He was telling him, "I hate you," and he said, "I'm gonna get you," is what he was saying to him as he was leaving the ring. So we'll see what happens there with the United States title and the feud between Edge and Finn Balor, if that's just starting to brew up for that U.S. title. And now it's time for our main event, Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn for the WWE Undisputed Universal Heavyweight Championship. This match had a big WrestleMania feel to it. Sami Zayn being in his hometown crowd in front of his hometown of Montreal. It reminded me in a way of Hulk Hogan versus The Rock at WrestleMania. That match will go down as one of the greatest matches of all time. And Hulk Hogan and The Rock barely really did anything in that match. They worked the crowd. They knew how to work the crowd. And, tens of thousands of people came to watch them. Hulk body slammed Andre, in front of 93,000 people. Not much happened in that match either, but that will go down as maybe the greatest match of all time. But here, with Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn, the eyes really tell the story. They're looking at each other, looking at the crowd, letting the crowd be a part of the match, letting the crowd participate in the match. I timed it out. It was 4 minutes and 14 seconds before there was any contact, before there was a lockup, and 7 minutes had went by into the match before anything had really happened. The match starts as Roman quickly realizes he is in foreign territory as the hometown crowd gets inside his head. But then Roman has to remind everyone that he's still the tribal chief. Sami finally gets an advantage on the outside with an aerial maneuver, but most of the beginning of the match has Reigns dominating and taunting the crowd. He then throws Sami outside of the ring to humiliate him in front of his own family, and there's major heat on Roman. The match continues back to the ring as Roman continues the assault on Sami Zayn. Sami fights back as the action spills back out to the outside, now with Sami getting some redemption as he gains the advantage in front of the Montreal crowd and in front of his family. They even get Sami Zayn's wife into the show as she does a really good job participating in the match and interacting with Roman Reigns. There's a moment when Roman Reigns comes over and he's, telling her, "I never wanted it to come to this," and she says, "You're a liar, Sami loved you." And it was pretty good stuff there by Sami's wife getting into the act. She was a pretty good sport about everything, and she did a really good job, I thought. But the two competitors would go back and forth from this point on, trading finishing maneuvers and false finishes. The referee gets knocked out as Sami pins Roman. Sami covers the champion as the hometown crowd counts all the way up to 12. There's no referee. Jimmy Uso enters the ring and gives Sami 3 nasty super kicks and climbs to the top rope with the big Uso splash for another false finish. Sami kicks out. The match continues. There's now a second referee, but he's knocked out too as both competitors lay on the mat. Heyman realizes that there's no referee and he tells the tribal chief that there is no referee at the moment. Then he grabs a steel chair, he gives it to Roman, and now Roman has the chair. And now Jey Uso enters the ring. Roman hands Jey the chair the same way he did to Sami at the Royal Rumble, and he gives him the chair and the opportunity to take his swing. He turns his back to Jey the same way he turned his back to Sami, and the crowd is going nuts. You know, they're wanting Jey to hit Roman with the chair. But, you know, Roman's wanting Jey to hit Sami with the chair, and, you know, he's telling him it's either him or us. But Jey doesn't do anything. He just stands there. He doesn't pull the trigger. So Roman starts bitch slapping him around, and Sami is able to capitalize with the spear. Only he hits Jey instead of Roman. Roman then beats Sami with the chair and hits a final spear. The match is over, but the bloodline isn't done yet. Roman is still your Universal Champion. The bloodlines start to beat up on Sami even more after the match, and then Kevin Owens comes out to fight them away. He even gave Paul Heyman a stunner, and the show ended with Sami and Kevin Owens looking at each other. So once again, Kevin Owens comes out to help Sami Zayn, proving his loyalty and his long-lasting friendship. Where Sami Zayn goes from here after this loss, I'm not really sure. He looked pretty unsure of himself in the press conference. You know, he failed here. His big match in front of his hometown crowd, he failed to defeat Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns hasn't been beaten over 3 years, and there's reasons why. You know, he was telling Cody on Monday, you just don't understand. He always will find a way to win, even when his back's against the wall. He always finds a way, and that's what he did here. And Cody should take that advice too and be prepared. So we set our sights on WrestleMania. Finally, we're about 6 weeks away. The road to WrestleMania is about to ramp up, and I believe that'll start tomorrow on Raw on Monday night. But I just don't see another title opportunity for Sami Zayn at Roman Reigns. And now with Cody being the babyface going up against Roman at WrestleMania, and they haven't talked any about splitting the titles up as of yet, so I believe that it'll be for the both the titles, Undisputed Championship. And I don't know what Kevin Owens has going on for WrestleMania. Maybe he will throw his hand in there somewhere in the main event, or he'll play some part in it. I'm not sure. So it'll be an interesting next few weeks on the road to WrestleMania. And I guess I'll wrap it up there. As always, thank you for sticking around this long. Thank you for subscribing, and thank you for the likes and all the support. And we will see you on the next one. Thank you.